So, is this the dawning of the age of Aquarius? Do you feel a desire, a penchant for love and peace and music and immensely thick mud? If so, do I have the right game for you? This is Wookstock, an obviously legally distinct reference to Woodstock, that famous music festival in 1969 that was iconic in strange and unobvious ways. Anyway, so this is a game for a game jam by Blast Studios, not really the studio name that one might associate it with the Woodstock theme, but nevertheless, it is a really well-made little game, a little sort of festival simulator. Made for a game jam. 30 days of summer. The game jam is currently still accepting submissions, but I believe that ends tomorrow as of the time I'm recording this. And then there will be time for voting and things like that, so come and give it a look if this is interesting to you, and the link will be in the description. And we're going to have a look at some gameplay, and then we are going to do a little bit of critique, but not a lot, because this game is really, really well made. I'm very impressed by it, especially for a game jam game. But I mean, even aside from that, this is well done. This is one of the good ones. So bravo, Blast Studios. All right, so let's hit space to start. And here we are with, this counts as sort of a tutorial. Welcome to Wookstock Music Festival Simulator. To budget, manage loans to fund your festival. So you need to take a loan and then pay it back depending on the length of the loan. To build, you can use WASD to get around, or right click and drag, and you build certain kinds of buildings in the festival. Then there are a list of bands that you can hire, I suppose, invite, pay to come and play at the festival. And then there's a start button on the left. Click anywhere to dismiss these instructions. So, step one, let's name the festival. It's the Fort K Festival. We have 0 budget, 0 capacity at the moment. So we need to purchase a loan. We are going to buy one of each of these loans. So we take the short one during 1 year and the bigger one during 3 years. I found this an easy way to build a nice big festival. Unfortunately, I haven't played enough to understand the game's full mechanics, so I don't know if that's the right approach, but that is nevertheless the approach that we are going to take. And now let's go to the build screen. So we have this patch of empty ground with a couple of posters and things from, I guess, previous festivals, peace sign there and what have you. And we have the ability to build various things. We can build the festival stage, some food stalls, drink stalls, some merch stalls, a thing with mushrooms that I guess is supposed to be like a drug tent field. I don't know what that's supposed to be, just a reference. Some toilets which you need. Car things, I'm also not sure why we build cars. Is this supposed to be marking a parking area? I don't know. There's no, mouse tip, pop-up tip things, whatever you call them. And then a muddy path that we can build. And I think let's start with the muddy path, and we will head up across the field because we want to put the stage at the back, and we can build downwards from there. And here we have stage, and the stage is very expensive. I think we built a little too far here, so let us delete. I think we get money back for deleting. I don't know if we get the exact amount of money back anyway. So yeah, so let's put the stage here, and put the path, I suppose, in front of it. I don't know. The people will be happy. Right, so we have the path, and that's where a lot of people are going to stand. So a little bit further down from that, let's build a path off to one side, and let's pop some toilets here, because that's quite important. Now, before I go too much further, I want to go and hire a band. These are our list of bands, just so I don't forget to leave myself money to hire them, because I did that last time. It wasn't good. Well, let's do some EDM, because they're quite cheap. And we're going to hire another one. Let's do the other cheap ones, a jam band. Alright, so that's going to be our 2 groups. We've only booked 2 out of 5. This is going to be a short festival, nevertheless. And let's build mud out the other way here. And let's slap some tents in. And let's pop some of these car things in. I think there's a way you can park a car. I don't know what that is. Apparently we've built 7,500 worth of capacity, which is great. Now I'm going to put one of these in. I don't know what they do. But it's a chunk of cash, and that's fine. And then using that to separate us out, we are going to slap in a food thing, we're going to slap in a drink thing, and we are going to slap in a very lucky, lonely merch thing. And I think that's really all we need. I don't know if that's enough to feed everyone. We'll have a look. So there's our stage, surrounded by flowers. And let's run the start. And we'll start our festival. And people start coming in and they walk through the food and drink. I don't know if that means they're picking up food and drink. They just seem to come in and go at this angle. Some of them seem upset. There's the toilets. And now they're running in, and there's the performance. And they all seem relatively happy. And they're jamming out. Yeah, way to go, guys. So a jam band and an EDM band. I mean, there's some good vibes, I think. There's a lot of long green hair in that audience. So we had 7,500. We only got in 3,500. That's understandable. We got some revenue, or we made less than our loans, unfortunately, and our satisfaction was quite low. So our music satisfaction was low. They didn't like the bands. Should have gotten better bands. Everything else is pretty high. Art satisfaction. Okay, I suppose that's the giant mushroom. It's an art installation of some sort. Doing quote-unquote art. And that's it. We get a new high score, 600,000. And we start our new game. We can pay the loan off, the smaller loan. The bigger one is still coming. And we start again. We can take some more loans just to buff up the amount of money we have there. We have 500,000. So we're basically starting a second round with plus $500,000 over the first round, so we can get more bands in there, and I suppose take another loan to pay off the original bands and things like that. That'll be 4K too. And yeah, so that's the game. So that is the end of the gameplay. That's all I'm going to show. If you are happy with this level of gameplay, then I think you should come and play this game. Link is in the description. And thank you for watching the video. If it's all you want to see and you're going to take off, don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe, because that teaches the YouTube algorithm this is a good video to come and watch, and it teaches the YouTube algorithm for you that you want to watch gaming related videos. And I think a well-trained YouTube algorithm is a good thing. So don't forget to do that. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. If, however, you are here for the critique, well, then we have a number of things to talk about. I'm just going to reload this to stop the blasting in my ears. Right, so critique. The first obvious critique is that it doesn't have quality of life sound controls. It's a Game Jam game. They never have almost never have the quality of life sound controls, so that's expected. But if this game continues to be worked on, and I really hope it does, I'm quite excited about this game. I think it's a good one. I think it really needs those quality of life sound controls. Get those in there, because that will make players a bit happy, especially with the game heavily focused on music, with this sort of fairly high energy music blasting all the time. You need to be able to tone it down so you can think, because it's a simulation game. There's a strategy elements. You need to be able to work on those. So yeah, quality of life sound controls. I don't know if they were in there and I missed them somewhere, but I had a good look and I didn't see them. So yeah, other than that, I think the art is fantastic. It would be nice if when you selected certain items to build them, it made a little bit of noise to kind of hint what they are. And as I said, mouse over pop-ups telling you what these things are would also be nice. I didn't know what the mushroom things were. I didn't know why they were cars. Was that capacity? I guess it was. How does... I would also like to know, although it's not really... These games don't really show it offhand, but I'd like to know how the logic worked. Was there anything actually to do with the way the people walked across the area, or was that just purely cosmetic, and the numbers all just worked out in the background the moment I clicked the start button? I'm guessing that's the case. I don't know. I don't know how it translates. But yeah, so some sort of sound hints and some pop-up hints and things like that would have been great. The tutorial was fine. A little short, but I say tutorial, a little pop-up message that tells you how to build it. It's fine. It's great. But yeah, sort of mouse over pop-ups would have added to that quite a bit and helped figure out the gameplay a bit more. Pop-ups are really, really powerful things. Little mouse over dialogues. Yeah, they're very, very useful. I do heartily recommend those. Otherwise, yeah, sound was fantastic. Sound was great. The art is super cute. I mean, you can see in the screenshots here, you've got all the bright colors that kind of, speak of that kind of 60s, late 60s, 11-piece era. You really want that in there, the sort of the rainbow colors. In fact, I think the game's even a little bit more striking than they would have been back then. From the pictures and the video I've seen of Woodstock, they would have loved this stage. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. This is a good-looking game. It's a Unity game, and some really, really good use of the Unity engine there. Bravo, well done. I like this a lot. So full scores for the art. I have no notes there. Talking about the gameplay, well, we've already mentioned that there needs to be not more tutorial, but more information over the buttons that you click. Some mouse overs to sort of say this is what this does, what you're actually building here. The icons are good, but it does need a bit more info just to help the player a little bit more. But other than that, I mean, it's really, really straightforward. I think you might also want to swap around the band hiring and then the building, because I built myself into a corner the first time I played, where I built a bunch of stuff and then didn't have any money for the bands. So you kind of want the player to get at least one band and then build, possibly with a little warning saying, hey, order the band, but don't forget this money is also going into your buildings, so don't hire too many bands and not be able to build any facilities. That's quite important. Something like that. I don't know. Obviously, part of the gameplay is figuring things out, but it would be frustrating to build a nice layout and go, oh, I can't afford to hire anyone, or maybe have one band just playing just for the joy of playing in a festival. So you've always got this really terrible band who's a guaranteed sort of attendance, so your satisfaction is really, really low, but at least an event happens and you get some money back. I don't know, something along those lines. So, build it into the storyline. And really that's the last critique is where is the flavor text here? Where is what is going on? I would love more kind of background flavor to it, more stuff going on that is like newspaper articles and things like that. One of the big things about Woodstock was that it was kind of a disaster that the people's passion and enthusiasm and things just worked through anyway. There were these guys with no money managed to beg and borrow enough money to have this festival with a certain capacity, and then the capacity was massively overswamped, and the whole area was just descended upon by all of these fans and enthusiasts and peace and love guys. And even with everything just hugely overwhelmed, it was still a successful festival, for given values of success. There were people sleeping in this horrible muddy conditions, and people knocking down the fences to get in, and people having to supply emergency water and all of that kind of stuff, because it was just a chaotic disaster in terms of planning for the amount of people that actually turned up, and yet it still flourished. It was still the kind of success that it would be difficult to imagine with today's conditions. It's why it was such an iconic bit of the era, was not so much the festival itself, but the stuff around it, the way it was dealt with, the way it was reported, the way it was the way it manifested in the public consciousness. Really was what made Woodstock so incredibly significant. And a game with the name Wookstock should really feed on that a little bit more, as over and above just the simulation game. This is a really, really sweet simulation game, but to take it to the next level, let's have some flavor text, newspaper articles, and the arrival of police and all of that kind of stuff to go. This was how the local populace and the general populace of the country reacted to your festival. Did they not notice it? Were they horrified by it? Did they love it? Was this a massive success? Was this culturally significant? Those kind of things. That's what I would add in there to kind of really make this game a statement on what made Woodstock so incredible. It's not necessary for the game. The game is absolutely fantastic on its own. But if you want to turn this into the next level, to make this game bigger and to make it grow, that is really where I'd consider adding some elements in, together with quality of life controls. Yeah. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say about it now. It's a game that I think is absolutely stunning. I can probably keep talking about, but yeah, as it is, thank you for making it, and thank you for watching this video. And I really look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks and goodbye.